What's good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kemple with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm super excited. As you can see, we are here in person. I'm ready to interview this incredibly beautiful young woman over here, total boss babe energy. But first, let me give a shout out to my girl, Annette Patko. We are in her studio in Evanston, Bordeaux Studios. She's a fantastic. Please delete that out, Warren. She is a fantastic photographer here locally in the Chicagoland area, does work for North Shore Magazine, and is also just an amazing person. My next guest that you see here beside me, she is a top staffing recruiter, a senior talent manager, has interviewed over 4,000 and placed hundreds of candidates. She's also the founder and CEO of the 30K program. Please welcome Mia Smithson to the show. Mia, thank you for being here today. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Yes. First off, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
This is fun.
Yes. So I have over 5 years of experience as a top staffing recruiter. So interviewed and placed, interviewed over 4,000 people, placed hundreds at companies like Google and Blue Cross Blue Shield and Disney, right? And for the 30K program, I started that about a year and a half ago. I started doing one-on-one, and I've expanded into group coaching. Wow. So I hired my first coach, who's incredible, right? Ex-Airbnb, she was there for 4 years, got promoted every single year.
Wow.
She also has a book coming out, and I've also built out a sales team, and so it's been really fun just getting to grow it and expand it and to help women earn more money.
I love that. So we're going to get more in detail on that. So tell us a little bit about your recruiting history, because that sounds like a lot of work. I've recruited, I've hired, I've been in that managing position where you have to interview people, and it's very strenuous.
Yeah.
So, and to hire people for names that you've hired for, that there has to be a certain level of expertise that comes with that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's interesting. I actually had no previous experience before I got my first recruiter job. I had been teaching English in Thailand. I got back into the United States.
Oh, wait. Thailand. Hold on a second. Wait, okay. So tell us about that really quick before we get into that story.
Okay, so after college, I knew that I wanted to do something epic and find a way to give back and do it even outside of the United States. So I figured out how to get visa sponsorship. I got a job at an international academy in Phuket. And so it was awesome because I got to teach kindergarten. And then I also got to be involved with an orphanage. And they help to essentially victims of sex trafficking. And it was literally one of the most epic experiences, island life and it was so fun.
Yeah, that sounds like it had an impact on your life. So how long did you do that for?
Yeah, so it was a year-long program.
Wow, okay, that's very cool. Do you wish to go back ever?
Oh, I'll definitely go back to visit. Yeah.
Very neat. That's on my bucket list, to go to Thailand. Yeah.
You've got to go.
Yeah, for sure. The flight I'm not looking forward to. So let's get into your experience that you were getting to around recruiting, because that's very impressive, the companies that you've recruited for. So tell us about what that journey was like and just the different levels of reaching of hiring for Disney or Google.
Yeah, definitely. So the company that I initially started recruiting for, they do staffing recruiting. So essentially you're working with these really, highly regarded clients. And I don't know, I would say to half of it is the confidence piece and feeling extremely well prepared when you're talking with these hiring managers, and then also just being really good at your craft.
Yeah.
So what that looks like is being a ninja at LinkedIn, right? Having the ability to set up these, drip sequences and automations, but yet also being able to tap into the personalized aspect of the drip sequences. And then from an actual, the negotiation aspect, I think there's a lot of kind of nuance that you learn as you grow in recruiting. Yeah, it's definitely an art and a science for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't. To hire and to interview people nonstop is very draining. It can be very draining. But when I was in a manager position, that was a lot of work. So I give it to you, for 4,000 interviewed. Boy, girl, you were running your butt off. So I guess I want to ask questions around what you did in staffing with these large companies that made you become very passionate about creating a program to empower women to make more money in their roles. because I feel like that's very relevant in today's world, even now, that I feel like women are more still underpaid than men. So can you tell us like what guided you to start this program?
Yeah, okay, so here's the story, right? A man and a woman will be interviewing for the same role and they'll have comparable experience. The man will ask for, say, 120K.
Yeah.
And the woman will ask for, say, 100K. And then immediately she'll pull back that number and say, you know what, I'd be okay with going lower, right?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with, 90K, right? And it's this immediate degradation of her business worth. And so I've heard this not once, not twice, but literally hundreds of times. And so, studies show women on average earn 17.7% less than men do.
Yeah.
And according to the Institute of Women's Policy Research, gender equality, at least for pay, will not exist until the year 2059.
Oh my God.
Which I don't know about you, but that is way too long to wait.
That actually just made I just got goosebumps and just made me like really mad. Like that made me mad.
Well, and that's just it. And so like at first I was like, well, it is all the company's fault. Like why
Yeah.
isn't the companies, like why aren't they just immediately paying the women more? But it is truly like, obviously, there's some blame in the companies, right?
Right,
Women,
for sure.
But like the women themselves are not trained in the skill of negotiating, and they don't, from what I've seen, is this like immediate kind of like shuttering down and kind of like lack of confidence the minute the money is discussed, which is like
Yeah.
so interesting because
Yeah.
like you'll be doing an hour-long interview with somebody. The entire time they're like, yeah, I led this multiple $million-dollar project and this was the result, and then I did this, and then I reduced this by 2.5%, which equated to like they're
Yeah.
absolutely amazing interview, and then the minute they start talking about money, it's just like, well, I'm
Why,
like,
why do you think that is? Because honestly, I'm guilty of it in my corporate world, in my like previous life. I'm guilty of that, where it's just like the talk of money makes me very uncomfortable, and it's just like I don't know how to approach it, even though I know I'm worth it. I know I'm worth it with my experience, but I have experienced that where I felt like, maybe I should just give a lower number because then I'll get the job, even though I know I'm worth more.
yeah, okay, so first off, the person who says the number first always loses.
Oh, there's a tip, you guys. Okay, for all my women out there that are watching, here's a tip. Let them say the number first.
Exactly, yeah, so you always want to say, oh, what's the salary range for the role? And here's the thing. There's this concept in recruiting, and it's called reversing. And this is where somebody asks you a question, right? Say you're the recruiter, and you say, well, what salary range are you targeting? I could instead ask you a question, and I could say, oh, well, I'm curious. What's the salary range for the role, right?
Yes.
So, like, you have to be able to kind of finesse the conversation. And if there's a question that you don't want to answer or you don't feel comfortable answering at this point in time, feel free to reverse that and ask that question right on back.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So that's like, just like I heard you say, so let me ask you, and just like, repeat it, because that's a good way to know that you're dialed into the conversation, and then you actually put them on the spot, and then instead of them putting you on the spot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, and I have a word from our sponsors. Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. I don't know if you've heard about this new, innovative, creative, convenient, diverse product called All Things Clean. So let me give you a quick demo. And I'm going to actually have my mom come in here with me. Mom, can you come here? Did you see how this is stuck to your wall effortlessly?
That is awesome. I am so excited. I just looking at this. Go ahead, put that up. Let me see how that works.
This is the one board they have. So they have a whiteboard as well. And so here, you unroll it, and then you put it on the wall. Mom, you want to help me with this?
Sure.
And so all you do is put it on the wall. There you go. And now you can do whatever you want with the markers. So, Mom, what do you think this would be good for?
First of all, with work, the endless possibilities. Think about it. If you're at a trade show and you don't want to bring a lot of stuff with, you can put this up there. You can write some stuff on there. When you're at work, you have these impromptu meetings. Grab this, slap it up on the wall, do some brainstorming, fixing
We have some
equipment.
birthdays coming up in our family.
Oh my gosh! Happy birthday!
I think it's Louie. My nephew's birthday.
Happy birthday! Think about it. You would go around the whole room and people can come in and everybody can sign it. I'm really excited. I'm going to be using this.
I know. I'm very excited too.
Deanna, I want to see how easily this peels off. Let's just make sure. They say easy on, easy off. Holy cow, look at that.
You guys, have you not seen how great this product is? For at home, at the office, presentation, wherever. I have a special exclusive discount for you. They're giving me 15% off with free shipping and free markers. The code LABEL15 at clingers.com. That's right, 15% off, free shipping, free markers at clingers.com.
And the possibilities are endless.
Hey you guys, Deanna here with Label Free Podcast, and we're back with my incredible boss babe, total girl power energy, Mia Smithson. She is the founder and CEO of the 30K program here in my good girlfriend studio, Annette Patko at Bordeaux Studio in Evanston, Illinois. Mia, we were just talking about how women are not as confident around talking about money when it comes to, you know, finding a role and that discussion around salary. And we were talking about how we can flip the script essentially and to get more money. So with your program, you say that you can help. The 30K program is to help women feel to have the tools to negotiate for their business worth.
Yeah.
And I think that is very powerful, even in today's age. It's 2022, and we're still seeing a disconnect in, you know, equality within the corporate structure, the work structure between women and men to get paid the same. And so, can you talk a little bit more about that and how your program helps attack that with your clients?
Yeah, definitely. So we help women earn the extra 30K in 3 ways.
Ooh,
so the
okay.
first is through getting a higher paying job. The second is through a promotion and starting a side business, because on average, a promotion we see up to about a 10% increase, right?
Okay.
And then sometimes that doesn't do the extra 30K, which is why
Right.
it's, you know, a promotion plus a side business. And then the third is no promotion, but yes to the side business.
Ooh, so you almost are helping women become entrepreneurs.
It's not almost, we are.
Yes, I love. So that's how it fits into the label free, the mission here, our mantra, everything that we stand for. So what does that look like? So let's say I came to you and I'm in this job and I'm like, okay, I'm not making the money I want to make. How do you guide and coach people down the path to get to where they want to be?
Yeah, definitely. So when you start the program, you fill out this type form, right? And it is a way to help you navigate which of the 3 potential paths is the right fit for you, right? And then once you have selected that path, then you're in the group coaching calls for that specific path, right? Because it doesn't make sense to have someone who is getting a higher paying job being in the path with, you know, someone, or being in group coaching calls with someone who is starting a side business, because it's completely different. And so it is really personalized. And then it is both the one-on-one as well as group coaching, because you're meeting one-on-one with your coach every other week, and then you have the group coaching every single week, right?
Yeah.
Which is super nice just from like a community aspect, because it can be really lonely, especially if like you've never done this before. And so having a whole like, you know, community of other women who are all like focused on the exact same thing, like that is freaking amazing, right?
Yes, very amazing. That's very empowering. And that's got to make you feel good that you're helping these women achieve a level of success that they never thought possible.
Yeah, it's really true. Yeah, you know, like I really do want to make an impact with this like one life that I have. And so I thought long and hard when deciding what type of like a business, because I knew eventually like creating a business was inevitable for me, but this is something that I feel like is so desperately needed, and I do not know of anyone who's like truly solving this issue right now.
No. So how did this idea become, like, how did it become born, I guess? I don't know the right word to say that. How did you create this? What were you experiencing a lot in your recruiting career that made you say, hey, I'm seeing an issue with women and their value that made you passionate about this? How did it come about?
Yeah, exactly. So it literally, I mean, it was almost daily where I'd had that conversation with a woman who would just not negotiate for the same comp that a man would negotiate for, who has similar skill set for the exact same role, right? And so I'm like, this is just, it's happening over and over and over again. And like, and this is also something that like I personally struggled with in my first recruiting job. Like I didn't negotiate for my first salary in my first recruiting job. And then from there, you know, I was able to obviously grow that. And I feel super proud of this. Like my greatest like negotiated raise was a 19.15% increase, which
That's
like
awesome. Go to her. Go to her. Hire her.
But like I will say that like all of that was like there was so much discomfort involved, right? Because I believe that discomfort is the currency of your dreams, and so like
Yes.
I just really had to kind of dig into the discomfort. And but yeah, essentially I saw this problem in my own life, in these lives of other women, and I knew I was the person who has the skill set to solve it.
That's amazing. Could you give us a success story? We said the 19 point something percent. So what did that look like where you were able to get that or help that individual get that raise?
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, my favorite story, her name's Chloe, and she was earning right around 80,000. And after 2 months working with us, she was able to get a new job earning 125K, and then also 25K in extra comp.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Good for you.
Well, like, good for
Good
her.
for Chloe. Guys, good for Chloe. If you're out there listening, good for you, girl.
Well, and like I will just say that like so much of it is like noticing and examining like the limiting beliefs, right? Because
Yes.
like we're all truly capable of this. It's just it's more so like also noticing like the fake limitations that we do place on ourselves. And so that's why I think it's like really helpful having a coach, because like it's hard to read the label when you're like inside. Like it's hard to really know what's going on until you have that coach who's able to bring in kind of that
Perspective.
That
right?
perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very powerful. I love that. Now, I have a question. So out of the 4,000 people that you placed, of the women that are in that group, how many of those did not really get what they deserved?
Oh, man.
Like a percentage, like roughly. Yeah, I mean, because that's a good question, and that would just tell me like why this is so passionate, why you're so passionate about helping women earn what they deserve, because you've seen it over and over and over again. What is the percentage out of those 4,000 you think that were women?
Yeah, so, oh man, I do not know an exact percent, and I will say I think it's also partially due to, like, because a recruiter does have some power in the sense that, you know, sometimes I'd be like, oh, are you sure, like, that's the total comp that you're targeting, right? And the recruiter can kind of push back and be like, oh, yeah, like, you really want this amount, you know?
Yeah, right.
But it was really, really, really frequently, like, most of the women who I interviewed asked for comp significantly lower than what the man asked for. I mean, the majority. I would say at least, like, 70%.
That's a huge number. So let's just say 2,000 of like, let's just say half. You had 2,000 men, 2,000 women. 70% of 2,000, that's a huge number of women that weren't getting what they deserved, that weren't earning what they deserved based on their skill set, based on their experience. So that's crazy.
Well, and one thing to think about is how that number compounds, right? So if you're earning, let's say your counterpart in the same role, similar skills, is earning, 117.7% a year, or 107,000 per year, and you're earning 90,000 per year roughly.
Yeah.
I mean, that number compounds, right? Like if you were to instead have that higher amount, like you could be investing that in index funds, and that number could be growing and growing and growing. So over the course of somebody's lifetime, that number, it can equate to like millions of dollars lost, right? Because think about it, how it adds up and how it compounds.
No, I get it.
You're not actually getting that amount. So yeah, and I've seen like the gap even larger than the 17.7%, but I know that's what the studies show. So
I believe it. Wow, so you're doing really great work. So what does it look like if a woman wants to come to you to have you coach them? So what does that process look like? Do you have an intro call? Can you tell the audience what they need to do to work with you, and just to start out to test the waters?
Yeah, definitely. So at first it is that consult call. So it's with a member of our team, one of our sales reps, and they really take the time to hear your story, right? I know sometimes when you talk to somebody who has a program, they're like, well, this is the program, and blah, 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 blah. Like, our program is not the right fit for everybody, and so we really do due diligence during that initial call to really figure out, like, where do you see yourself a year from now? What about 5 years from now? And really make sure that there is that alignment, right? And if there is, and then if you're able to move forward, and we do have financing available, which is super nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Then it transitions over to our incredible coach. So then she sends out, this type form, and this is like that quiz to figure out which is the right path for you specifically. And then from there, we get you into the group coaching call, your, one-on-one with the coach. And then the first session is really that like really big deep dive. It's kind of like the getting naked session. It's like, this is where I'm at. Oh my gosh. But we try to like really have it like where you filled out enough information prior that it's just like really kind of focused and like, we have as much information as possible going into that first call. So.
And how long does a typical coaching client? How long is that? Is it for like forever, or is it 3 months, 6 months? What does that look like for someone?
So we allow for an entire year. Here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
So if you're getting a new job, you're not going to need a full year, right? You're going to need maybe 3 to 6 months. But for the promotion path, or if we're starting a side business, it could end up taking that full year, because for the promotion specifically, we actually recommend, pre-planning that out and having that first conversation with your manager about it a year in advance, so that you can outline what specific metrics you will achieve in order to get that set agreed upon promotion a year out. So
I love that. Where can people find you, reach out to you, connect with you? Please let the audience know.
Okay, the 30kprogram.com. You can either Google us or just go to the 30kprogram.com and sign up for a consult call. Yeah.
I will put all the links, and I'm sure she's on social media as well, so I'll put all those links in the show notes, you guys. So please, if you're a woman watching this and you're looking for an increase in your salary, or looking for just a new path, and you connected with Mia, don't hesitate to reach out to her. She is an awesome individual. Her energy is infectious. I love it. She's so happy. Look at that smile. So you won't regret reaching out to her. Thank you very much, Mia, for being here today and sharing your story. Really appreciate it. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kemple with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to review, share, comment, follow all of our pages, all that good stuff, and we'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.